second on a road course.
Thank you, Matt Yoakum. Well, a trio of Hendrick drivers is liking a little bit of money for a good cause to help make a difference. They'll also take success at this track if they can find it. California native Jeff Gordon leads with wins and poles at this track. You can never, though, count out Jimmy Johnson. And then there's Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's trying to ride last week's momentum. Our Ralph Shaheen had a chance to sit down with the trio to talk about Project Pepsi Refresh. Each of them came up with an idea to help in the community, and the one that will get the most fan votes wins $100,000 to make that dream come true. We begin with the four-time champion.
Yeah, the project for me would be the bone marrow, like the Hendrick bone marrow project would be my idea. It's just extremely expensive one, and then there's a lot of things that insurance doesn't pick up and covers. So the Marrow Foundation project would be the one I'm looking at.
How about you, Jeff? What are you going to do if you get the big check?
You know, at the Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital, we've got a children's advocacy center that we want to build a new child life program for kids that are physically and sexually abused. We want to get the best experts and staff that we possibly can, as well as you know, continue to treat them with the latest technology.
How about you, Dale? What do you got in mind if you get that big money?
My project's about improving technology in schools. I wanted to kickstart it with putting in computer labs and upgrading a lot of facilities. Hopefully we'll get lucky and win the grant.
4 times a little upset.
I guess they thought you got into him, I guess.
Oh, he's treated different than everybody else.
Earl, did I pick a bad time to switch down to the bottom? If you haven't yet, Earl, maybe apologize to the 24th spotter. They made a bad decision, I think, there.
It's competition. We have a great deal of respect for each other, for the company we drive for, and we get out on that racetrack and you're always trying to, you know, walk that line in the right way. And you know, I certainly lost my cool in a few cases, and then made a mistake, which at Talladega, which kind of set the thing off and got it even more excited. But I'm glad that's behind us, and I'm glad we're now talking about the Gibbs guys and then even Joey and Harvick.
What were you thinking, Dale, when all that was going on?
I just grabbed some popcorn and sat back and
Enjoying the show.
I was loving that. It's just like everything else. When you're in the middle of it, you're not happy about it. But when you're able just to sit back and watch it, it's always entertaining.
How does that get resolved? Is it? I mean, you two have known each other. Is it Mr. H? Does he handle it? Really?
Yeah. Once you get that call, he says, "I want you to be on the phone at this time on this day." That pretty much is the end of it right there before you ever get into the phone call.
You know, Junior, there's some speculation as to how frustrating things must be for you. Is this frustration really there for you, or is this just part of the process?
We came into the season seeing some areas where we had gotten better, but we're not, you know, we're still a team that needs to improve on a lot of things, and we've got to do it in a hurry.
Do you think we know you? Do we really know Dale Jr. as fans and media?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell me. I mean,
It's odd hearing Jim being asked that question, because I get that question all the damn time.
Yeah.
Who are you? Do we know you? Why aren't you like so-and-so? So I guess everyone is.
Do you guys think we know him? Because I'm sure you probably see him in a different light than we do, like when we interview him and that sort of thing.
Ralph, do we know you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think he is able to be himself more than anybody out there. But I don't know him now. I mean, I've been to his house, I've hung out with him, and he's cool, but I'm like, man, I have no idea what he does, you know, 20 of the other hours that, you know, I wasn't there.
Have the three of you ever chatted about, hey, you know what? We carry a lot of weight within the sport. What can we do to help keep the sport moving forward?
Honestly, NASCAR does a great job, and this group here has been in those conversations with them, and every time I've been in a talk with NASCAR and you start to see the whole picture, you go, wow, I sure am glad I'm not making those decisions, because, you know, from the competitor side of it, it's easy for you to say, oh, I do this and do this and do that, but then once you see, you know, the ramifications of all that, you go, wow, they're doing a really good job. They've got a lot of information at their fingertips.
How important is 7 titles to you two?
You want it, but I don't know how real that is. I mean, it's tough world out there. Just to win 4 is pretty hard.
To me, it's my goal to try to win 1 chase championship you know, and yet that number 7 still floats out there as, you know, the ultimate goal. And I'm telling you, if he wins 7, to me it blows away the 7 that you know has been done in the past, because I look at the 4 that he's done, and I think that, shoot, I'd just like to have one of those.
Which one has it the toughest? Is it toughest being Dale Jr. because of the legacy? Is it tougher being Jeff Gordon? Who's got it the best?
It's probably easiest on Jeff. Probably.
I agree. I was gonna say, man, I can't wait to hear this this one. Please.
He's got you know, a championship to back up every year, and everybody knows my deal. So Jeff just sort of travels under the radar. Goes home to the wife and kids. Puts his feet up on the coffee table.
Oh man, we so don't know one another, do we?
I don't think it'd be too tough to be in Jimmy Johnson's shoes right now. The 4-time champion has stopped by to join us. We have so much we want to talk to you about, but before we do that, we want to show you a question that I had with Mike Helton, NASCAR president, when asked about your success so far in this series.
Okay.
It's kind of like a president's presidency. You know, that it takes 3 or 4 changes of the guard, so to speak, for people to go back and say, wow, you know, he really was significant. He is a race car driver of the NASCAR definition.
What do you think when you hear that?
You know, it's great to hear Mike, you know, talk about the different champions, and I assume where that conversation is going is based on, you know, my 4 championships being popular with some, you know, with my fans, and maybe not so popular with others.
You said it.
So, you know, playing on that note, I think that during any time I've seen somebody have great success, and I saw just a little bit from afar when Earnhardt was dominating, people really didn't like that. When Gordon was dominating, people really didn't like that. So I am very proud to have a lot of people not happy that I'm winning, and I hope to keep that going.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
All right, first of all, let me be the first officially on our countdown to green to wish you happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Baby Day's getting very close,
yes.
very close. But what I wanted to go to, Jimmy, is you're still looking for your first road course win. Your team has been working hard on your road course racing, but you've been working hard. You ran the 24-hour race at Daytona, and then you were at Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago running that race. So both parties have been working hard, and you qualified second here.
Yeah, we did, and we've been able to qualify well on the road courses. We've lacked speed over the long run, and I feel that yesterday in practice we showed that if it's in the car or me or a combination of both, that we're doing a better job of that. And I think that running these other road course races, you know, the cars are a lot faster, perform better. Things happen much quicker in them. My line of thought is if I do that, when I come back to these cars, I can slow things down and have a better sense of what the car is doing, understand the braking zone better. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it for right now. And we'll see what happens by the end of the day.
If you don't win, we'll blame it on Chad.
Poor guy.
I think over the past 4 years, we've watched this team. We've watched you. We've watched Hendrick. We've watched Chad. And from the outside, we don't see mistakes. You guys, I know, see mistakes internally, but from the outside. But over recent weeks, we've seen little mistakes creep out that we've never seen. I do think reports of your demise are greatly exaggerated, okay? Because you're like 7.
Pull the plug.
But how do you guys address
I'm
these?
6 now. I've moved up the spot.
Yeah, you have. Okay. How do you guys address that in turn? I mean, when you go back to the shop on Monday, whether it's a speeding penalty because you didn't know where you were at, whether it's an accident that happened, nothing you could do about the 43 car in Darlington. I mean, but how do you guys address that?
You know, as you know, when you're in the garage area and in your pit and on your race team, you know, this stuff happens throughout the course of any given season, and we've been through it before. There's a lot more attention that's been paid to it, and I guess I have to look and say that's because there are high expectations based on the 4 championships we've won. So I've watched Jeff experience it, and I'm certainly now stepping into that category as well, that there is a huge magnifying glass on you and your race team, and you've just got to learn to deal with it and accept it and go on. So, you know, I've always made mistakes. I've made some in May that were a little more noticeable than other times, and I think a lot of it's because people are paying attention and expecting so much out of this race team. But, you know, we'll go on, and as long as I can be clean in this final 10, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. You know, Jimmy, a lot of our viewers may not realize it, but I watched you about a week and a half ago go up to Eldora. And not that your forte is dirt racing, but you absolutely wore those guys out. Tony Stewart, all the dirt racers led all 30 laps of that race.
That was so much fun. I grew up racing, you know, in off-road trucks with jumps and everything, and the dirt cars were a much different feeling than when I grew up driving. And this year I decided to not test, and I think that was helpful because I was taking some bad habits